Hi guys! So this is Chantelle again, and happy Tuesday! Today we'll be making a new recipe. It's going to be falafel, which is this really delicious dish from the Middle East and like the Mediterranean area, and it involves using chickpeas, which are a type of bean, which have a lot of protein. And in the comments below, can you tell me what protein is good for? So this recipe is really similar to the almond milk recipe that I made a while ago, because the chickpeas had to soak overnight. So I will insert a picture of what soaked chickpeas look like and dried chickpeas, and basically these chickpeas like doubled in size while they soaked in the water overnight. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to add the chickpeas to the blender. I like to do two blends. I like to do the chickpeas first, and then I like to do the onions, herbs, and seasonings next. So let's do the chickpeas first. I'm just going to pour them in. These, you don't want to blend them until they're like smooth like hummus. You just want them to not be like whole chickpeas, basically. So. I just finished blending the chickpeas. I'm going to take them out, and then I'm just going to pour them into this big bowl that I have here, which is basically where all the ingredients are going to end up. The blended chickpeas are in this bowl now. Some of them are like really smooth, and then the rest is like still a little bit chunky, which is how I personally like mine, because it just adds a nice texture to it. The next thing we're going to blend are these onions, these herbs, which are parsley and cilantro, and then these seasonings that are here. These are the seasonings that the recipe calls for. I like to add a few more seasonings to mine, but I'm not going to give those away because it's part of my secret recipe. So I always add the onions first. They're closest to the blade, they can get like a really nice chop. And then we'll add the herbs, and then we'll sprinkle the seasonings in on top. Onions, parsley and cilantro, and the seasonings. We've got not crushed red pepper, we've got red pepper flakes. We've got black pepper. We've got cumin. And then we've got some salt. I'll have the exact measurements in the description with the recipe. I, at this point, kind of eyeball it, so I've been making it for so long. Alright, all the seasonings are in. I'm going to put the lid back on, blend this up, and then I'm going to add it to our chickpea mix. So now you're going to pour this mix into the mix with the chickpeas. Yikes, sorry. So what you will notice when you do that is that the chickpeas blended up look yellow. When you add this mix to it, because of the herbs in it, it's going to turn green. Make sure to scrape the blender so you get all the good bits in there. Alright. Now I'm just going to mix it up so everything gets really well incorporated. Just got done mixing, we're going to add the final ingredient, which is flour. I've got my measuring cup here. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of flour. The flour, you really just have to, I would say, start with a small amount and then work your way up. The way you test it is when you add the mix to the oil and you fry it. If a lot of pieces break off, that means that you need to add more flour to kind of hold it all together. But I like to start with a small amount so that it doesn't get too doughy. So the flour is in, and I'm just going to mix that up now. So this is all mixed in now. I'm going to clean off the counter a bit, and then we're going to get to the frying. So now that the falafel mix is done, we're going to get to the fun part, which is frying. If you're making this recipe at home, you will need to have an adult with you because the oil gets really, really hot and I don't want you to get hurt. So we have our mixture done. You're going to turn your stove on, or in this place, my hot plate. I'm going to turn it on and let the oil heat up. And the way you know the oil is ready is if you have a wooden spoon, you can stick the tip in and then bubbles will form around it. Once you see the bubbles forming, then it's time to shape the falafel. The way that you shape the falafel is you want to make kind of ping pong sized balls. So again, with clean hands, you're going to scoop some up and then you just kind of mash it. It's going to make like a really moist sound. Gonna mash it, mash it, mash it until it turns into a circular ping pong ball shape, and then you're going to add those into the oil. And I would say about 8 to 10 per time that you fry, just so that the temperature stays high and so they all cook evenly. And then when that's done, you're going to scoop them out and you're going to put them into a bowl with paper towels. In this case, I'm using a strainer. Done frying and the falafel are all done. They're in this little bowl and they look absolutely amazing and they smell amazing. So these I kind of just eat them as a snack. You could also put them in like a pita bread with a cucumber and tomato salad. But I just want you guys to hear this crunch.